Lesson 2. Extracting data with DQCsys Client. Parameter filters and datetime filters. DQCsys Client uses parameter filters and datetime filters to extract the data recorded by the DQCsys operator. Parameter filter or datetime filter may be used individually, or both filters may be used at the same time. At least one filter needs to be used to search the data. Once the data is extracted, it is then automatically analyzed and plotted by the DQCsys client. Our DQCsys client has already been started, and to extract the data, first we need to click on Setup. And then we need to click on Configure if we want to change the server where we get the data from. Let's select Server 1 and click on Load. Please note that our server path is green, and it indicates that we have successfully connected to that server. Under Full Name, please note that we have Machine 1 and Machine 2 listed. It is because we have two DQCsys operator stations saving data to the same server. Our DQCsys operator station 1 is called Machine 1, and DQCsys operator station 2 is called Machine 2. Let's select Machine 1. Once Machine 1 is selected, then we get the list of processes that are being analyzed and saved on that station. Let's select Thickness, and let's enable our parameter filter. Please note that Machine 1 recipe designation is called Project. When we click on Select Parameter, we get the list of parameters that are available for searching the data. Please note that Machine 1 also has 4 custom recipe fields, and those fields are called Field 1 through Field 4. Let's select Project, and let's type in our Test2 recipe. And let's search the data. And we found 2,219 samples. To extract the data, we can simply click on Yes. In case if our search criteria return a lot of samples, we have opportunity to click No and redefine our search criteria to receive lower number of samples. Let's click on Yes. And we have extracted our samples. And let's plot them now simply by clicking Plot. And we have successfully plotted our data. Let's click on Setup again, and let's enable our datetime filter. To change the start date, simply click on Start Date. When we get our pop-up calendar, we can change the date and time. Let's set time to now and go back 2 hours. Let's click OK. For finish date, let's click on Finish Date, and when we get our pop-up calendar, let's set our time to now to get the latest data. And let's search again. And we have 720 samples available. Let's extract them by clicking on Yes. And let's plot the data again. And we have successfully plotted 721 samples. Let's click on Setup again. And to change the process that we want to get the data for, simply click on Process and select the process. And search again. And we have 721 samples available. To extract them, please click on Yes. Once the samples are extracted, then we can plot them. And we have successfully extracted the samples and plotted them for our second process called Width. Let's click on Setup again. To change to a different production line on the same server, we can simply do that by clicking Deselect, and then under Full Name we can change the machine to Machine 2. Please note that Machine 2 has 3 processes. Those are named Temperature Zone 1 through Temperature Zone 3. Let's select Zone 1. Let's also disable our parameter field, and let's enable our time and date field. Let's change our start date to noon. And let's click OK. Let's change our finish date to now. And let's click OK. And let's search for the data. And we found 320 samples. Let's extract them and plot them. And we have successfully plotted data for our second machine for process Temperature Zone 2. Let's click on Setup. And let's change our server. Let's click on Configure. Let's connect to our second server and load it. And we have successfully connected to our second server. On that server, we only have one machine that saves data to that server. And our process names are Process 1 through Process 4. Let's select Process 1. Let's leave the same time and date search filter enable, and let's search for the data. And we found 832 samples. Let's extract them. And let's plot them again. And we have successfully plotted data for Factory 2 and Machine 2 located on our second server. If we want to change the server again, simply click on Setup and then Configure, select the server, load it. Once the server is loaded, then we get a list of processes that are available on that server to search. And then we can choose parameter filters or date and time filters, or use both filters at the same time. And then once the filters are set, then we need to click on Search, extract the data, and plot it. And that concludes our lesson number 2.